Previously, we have shown Mark's power had returned and he had become invincible. The Omni Man, whom people called the world's greatest protector, had killed his friends, the Guardians of the Globe. Investigation was on run and GDA was trying to find out who had killed the Guardians. Meanwhile, Debbie was becoming suspicious of Nolan due to his change in attitude and some strange behavior. During this time, Mark was sent on a mission to Mars, where the Martians captured him. Mark had saved the astronaut from the Martians, but the danger still loomed. One astronaut left behind in Mars, and it was controlled by the Sequids. Now onwards, we see chaos on the streets, caused by strange villain made entirely of living stone, Titan, also known as Rockman. Unlike flashy villains who crave attention, Rockman is calm, strategic, and focused. He originally worked for Machine Head, a cold, calculated crime lord whose mind is enhanced by cybernetic implants. Rockman wanted to get rid of Machine Head because he used to make Rockman do wrong things, and Machine Head liked Rockman because of his power and intelligence. Rockman is the same thief whom Invincible defeated in his first fight. Meanwhile, Mark Grayson continues his superhero journey as Invincible, dealing with small-time villains and street crime. On the surface, he is doing fine, stopping criminals, saving lives, and learning on the job. But Mark is still inexperienced. He is juggling hero work, school, and relationship, and that pressure is starting to crack his personal life. Every fight costs him time, and every delay costs him trust. Mark's relationship with Amber takes a serious hit. He is late again, not just a few minutes. He misses important moments, disappears without explanation, and always has weak excuses. Amber is not angry because Mark is busy. She is angry because he would not be honest. She feels ignored, unimportant, and lied to. This tension shows the emotional price of being a superhero. Saving the world means losing the people closest to you. This time, Amber forgives Mark and invites him to dinner at her house. Actually, Amber wanted to introduce Mark to her mother. Meanwhile, Omni Man takes Mark into space for training. Nolan pushes Mark brutally hard, throwing him into asteroids, forcing him to react faster, stronger, and without hesitation. But this is not a normal fatherly training. Nolan's tones is cold. He shows no concern for Mark's pain. To him, weakness is unacceptable. This scene subtly reinforces something disturbing. Omni Man doesn't see humans the way Mark does. Because of training, Mark once again shows up late to meet Amber. This time, she is hurt and she is done of all this. Amber directly confronts him, saying she doesn't believe his excuse anymore. The trust is breaking and Mark, unable to reveal his identity, has no way to fix it. This moment grounds Mark emotionally. No villains, no powers, just two people drifting apart because of secrets. Mark later encounters Rockman, but this time Rockman doesn't attack. Instead, he talks. Rockman reveals that he is not truly evil, he is trapped. Machine Head controls the criminal underworld and Rockman wants out, not just for himself but for his family. He asks Mark for help to overthrow Machine Head. This puts Mark in a moral gray area, helping a criminal to stop a bigger criminal. Rockman explains that Machine Head isn't just smart, he is prepared. He has mercenaries, advanced weapons, and powerful allies. Taking him down won't be easy. Mark, still idealistic, believes he can handle it. This is Mark's biggest mistake so far, overconfidence. While Mark is busy with hero work, Debbie Grayson quietly begins her own investigation. She noticed Nolan's strange behavior since the Guardians of the Globe were killed. Her doubts grow stronger as she looks deeper into Nolan's actions and timelines. The show doesn't give answers yet, but it makes one thing clear. Debbie is starting to suspect her own husband. Mark agrees to help Rockman and together they storm Machine Head's headquarters. At first, the plan seems simple. Break in, confront Machine Head and end it fast. But Machine Head was waiting and he strikes back. Suddenly, elite villains arrive. Each one was deadly. The fight turns chaotic and brutal. Even Mark and Rockman together are unable to defeat the villains because they are simply too powerful. Mark is overwhelmed. He is punched, crushed, stabbed, and beaten beyond anything he's faced before. This is not a superhero fight, it's a massacre. Mark's body breaks, bone snaps, blood fills his lungs. For the first time, Invincible is completely helpless. Then the new Guardians of the Globe finally arrive to help, but even they are completely outmatched. One by one, they are defeated, proving how unprepared they truly are for real threats. Mark being injured, unconscious, and barely alive. Rockman escapes, achieving his goal, but Mark pays the price. surprise. Later, Cecil arrives at the scene and Machine Head was caught by GDA. After 1 week, Mark finally regains consciousness. His body is still weak, covered in injuries, but thanks to his Viltrumite bloods, he heals far faster than any human could. Even while recovering, Mark feels guilty. People got hurt, the Guardians were defeated. For the first time, Mark realizes that being invincible doesn't mean being unstoppable. Somewhere he knows his decision to trust Rockman will lead to disaster. So, does Rockman betray him? The answer is no. Rockman doesn't betray him in a clear way, but yes, he used him. He manipulates Mark into helping him overthrow the crime lord Machine Head to take over the organization. Parallel to Mark's recovery, we focus on Atom Eve, who is clearly unhappy with her family life. She feels misunderstood, controlled, and emotionally suffocated at home. So she makes a bold decision. She leaves. Eve builds herself a peaceful home inside a massive tree, using her powers and begins living independently. But Eve doesn't isolate herself. She dedicates her life to helping others. We see her actively stopping natural disasters, accidents, and fires and explosions. She uses her powers creatively and compassionately, becoming the kind of hero she always wanted to be. Unlike flashy superhero battles, Eve's heroism is quiet and meaningful. Meanwhile, a disturbing subplot begins. A college student named Doug Cheston suddenly goes missing. He is kidnapped under mysterious circumstances with no clear motive and no witnesses. This event feels small at first, but it becomes one of the darkest storylines in the series. Later we see Cheston is being abducted for illegal human experimentation. His body is being altered. He has to go through a lot of pain and suffering. This research introduces a terrifying concept: humans being turned into living weapons. Meanwhile, Debbie starts searching the house, where she finds Nolan's superhero suit, which was covered in blood and torn. This was the same suit that Nolan wore the day he killed the Guardians. Debbie visits Nolan's suit designer, where designer tells her the blood matches the Guardian's murder scene. The earliest and oldest blood stain on Nolan's suit was from Red Rush, which clearly indicates that Omni Man attacked first. In that moment, Debbie realizes the truth and finally uncovers the truth about Nolan, that he killed the Guardians of the Globe. Trying to reconnect with normal life and make things good with Amber, Mark accompanies his best friend William on a visit to Upstate University to see his crush Rick Sheridan with Amber. This trip is supposed to be relaxing, a break from superhero duties and secrets, and explore new things in New University. But peace doesn't last long. Doug Cheston reappears, but he is no longer human. He has been transformed into a reaniman. Now question arrives, what is a reaniman? They are reanimated human bodies enhanced with cybernetic technology, nearly emotionless and extremely strong and violent. They are not robots, they are living weapons. The reaniman attacks the college group suddenly and violently. Chaos breaks out. Mark disappears during the attack to stop the threat, and William notices. William finally connects the dots. He realizes the truth that Mark Grayson is invincible. Instead of anger or fear, William reacts with shock and concern. While Invincible fighting with Reaniman, Amber looks for Mark and she thinks he again left her behind. After the incident, Amber reaches her emotional limit. She is tired of Mark disappearing, lying, and being unreliable. She almost breaks up with him. Now, their relationship is hanging by a very thin thread. Things get worse when Rick disappears. William panics and immediately goes looking for him, refusing to abandon Rick. Emotionally exhausted, Amber meets a new guy who invites Amber to a party. He gives her attention, understanding, and time, things Mark hasn't been able to provide. Mark sees Amber with the new guy. It deeply hurts him, but Mark leaves anyway. When he learns William and Rick is in danger, William meets Sinclair. He was caught like Doug Cheston. Mark arrives there and Reaniman attacks Mark. There they see Rick, who is now become a Reaniman. William asks him to remember important moments they spent together. Right after that, something incredible happens. Rick still recognizes William. A small part of his humanity survives. Rick helps Invincible to kill the other Reaniman, and then William hits Sinclair badly and he was handed over to the GDA. But the experiment had changed Rick's life forever. Back to home, Debbie confronts Nolan directly. She asks him the question she has been dreading. Why did you kill the Guardians of the Globe? Nolan doesn't deny it. His silence confirms everything. The trust between them is completely shattered. Then we see the Mauler twins reappears, planning their next move. This signals that chaos is far from over. Tired of lying and hurting Amber, Mark finally tells her the truth. He is a superhero and that's why he keeps disappearing. Amber listens, but instead of relief, she feels hurt. She tells Mark that she already suspected the truth. What hurts her isn't the secret, it's that Mark kept lying even when she already knew. Elsewhere, one of the most disturbing storylines continues: Robot's secret plan. With the help of the Moller twins, Robot begins forming a new human body using advanced cloning technology and DNA samples. Robot creates a body designed to look like a younger, healthier human version of himself. The goal is simple: to finally live as a real human. Once the process is complete, Robot makes a cold and calculated move. He betrays the Moller twins, locking them away and erasing their advantage. In his newly created human body, Robot introduces himself to the Guardians of the Globe. He presents himself as someone new, confident, emotional, and physically present. The Guardians sense something different about him. Robot is no longer just a mind behind machines. He is now someone who can feel, bleed, and live. Debbie, broken and shaken, takes her knowledge about Nolan to the GDA. She tells them everything: that Nolan killed the Guardians of the Globe. But Debbie is shocked by the response. The GDA already knows. The GDA reveals they have been preparing for the inevitable confrontation between Mark and Nolan. They know that if Nolan turns against the Earth fully, Mark may be the only one capable of stopping him. Debbie is horrified. The idea of her husband and her son fighting to the death is unbearable. She admits that the Nolan who once loved her is gone, or maybe never existed. With a broken heart, Debbie agrees to cooperate with the GDA's plan. Nolan finally tracks down Mark. Then the GDA launches an attack on Omni Man. They deployed a modified octopus-like monster in front of Omni Man, but none of them can truly stop him. Nolan and Mark fights with the monster, and Mark finds a way to defeat the monster. This scene proves both father and son are unstoppable, and no one in Earth can defeat them, even other superheroes. Meanwhile, seeking revenge for Robot's betrayal, the Moller twins perform a forbidden experiment. They resurrect Immortal, one of the original Guardians of the Globe. Immortal doesn't wake up confused, he wakes up angry. As Immortal regains consciousness, his memories return. He remembers everything: the Guardians meeting, Omni Man's sudden attack, being murdered by Nolan. There is no doubt in his mind Omni Man is the traitor. Immortal immediately flies out to confront Nolan. Without hesitation, he attacks Omni Man in front of the world. News reporters covering this footage live from the chopper, and the world is shocked after seeing Immortal alive. This public confrontation exposes the truth. The strongest hero on Earth is revealed as the killer of the Guardians. As Mark witnesses Immortal's rage and hears the truth, everything collapses. Again, Omni Man kills Immortal. For the first time, Mark fully understands his father murdered the Guardians of the Globe. The hero he admired, the father he trusted, all lies. This revelation sets the stage for the most devastating confrontation of the series. He wanted to be like a Nolan, but now everything will change. Nolan finally tells Mark the truth. He was never sent to Earth to protect it. He was sent as a part of the Viltrumites Empire's mission to weaken Earth, to prepare it for conquest, and eventually make it part of the Viltrumite Empire. Earth was never home. It was an assignment, and I am a Viltrumite soldier. He tells Mark that the Guardians were never his equals. They were obstacles in his mission, and when the time came, they had to be removed. Nolan offers Mark a choice: join him, help conquer Earth, rule the planet together as Viltrumites. He promises Mark power, immortality, and dominance. But Mark clearly refuses and says, "This planet is my home, and I cannot make the people here slaves to the Viltrumites." Mark Grayson finally confronts his father, Nolan, Omni Man. What starts as an argument instantly turns into a violent clash. This is not a superhero fight. This is a father beating his own son without mercy. Nolan is faster, stronger, and far more experienced. Mark doesn't stand a chance, but he refuses to stop fighting. Broken and desperate, Mark asks Nolan the most painful question of all: "Did you ever really love Mom?" Nolan coldly explains that humans age and die too quickly. To a Viltrumite, relationships with the humans are temporary. Debbie, according to him, was like a pet. Debbie hears Nolan's word through the broadcast, and every word shatters her heart. The man she loved, the husband she trusted, the father of her child, all gone. At this moment, the entire world finally sees the real Omni Man, a man who has lost all emotion because he is Viltrumite. Mark tells Nolan that he will not leave Earth and will not allow Earth to become part of the Viltrum. This enrages Nolan. What follows is one of the most brutal scenes in the entire series. chaos. Nolan drags him through cities, forces him to witness innocent people dying because of their fight. Mark is beaten mercilessly. He is completely broken, physically and emotionally, and still he refuses to join his father. As Nolan prepares to deliver the final blow, something stops him. Mark's words, Mark's childhood memories. For the first time, Nolan hesitates. Unable to kill his own son, Nolan flies away from Earth, leaving the planet behind. News channels explode with footage of the devastation caused by the fight. Entire cities are destroyed, thousands are dead, the world is traumatized. Earth no longer trusts its heroes. Seeing the chaos and the collapse of everything, the Mauler twins abandon their experiments and they surrender to the GDA. Amber watches the destruction on TV. She sees Mark. She sees what he endured. Overwhelmed with fear and guilt, Amber breaks down and cries, realizing the weight Mark carries every day, and now he will suffer from a nightmare of his father. 2 weeks passes and Mark finally recovers. Physically but mentally, he is scared. The bruises fade, the trauma doesn't. He is no longer just a kid learning to be a hero. He is someone who survived hell. Cecil approaches Mark with an offer. Take Omni Man's place, become Earth's greatest protector. Mark listens but refuses for now. He tells Cecil that he needs time to heal, time to understand who he is. It's confirmed that Nolan has left Earth completely. No one knows where he is. No one knows he will return back or not. The Grayson family is shattered. What do you think? Omni Man will return to Earth? Comment below. For now, Omni Man is gone. Right after this chaos, we are shown brief teasers of future threats. The Martians watching from afar, Rockman expanding his power, the Flaxons preparing revenge, and the Mauler twins still dangerous. The message is clear. Even after Omni Man's departure, danger still looms over the Earth.